If you collect Hot Toys, you already know that with every announcement comes a ton of hype and anticipation, but sometimes some figures go under the radar. They get overlooked. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 7 Hot Toys figures that I believe are being overlooked right now and why they shouldn't be and why you should have these figures on your radar. Let's jump into it. I am so hyped to be getting into this list with you, but before we do, we got to talk about one honorable mention. But before we even get into that, we got to change it up a little bit, and we got to do that right now. There we go, baby. We're talking about the Bat Missile, which is honestly, right now, it's sold out. Hold on one second. Yeah. What do you mean? The Bat Missile got canceled, really? Okay. All right, sounds good. Let's just get right into the list. And here, these are in no particular order, but we're going to get started off here with the T800 2.0. Now, you might be thinking, hey, man, nobody's overlooking the T800 2.0. It's Arnold, man. It's Arnold. It's Terminator. Nobody's overlooking this. But I will say that when you have this one available to you, which is the T800 Battle Damaged, that is the one that I feel like is getting a lot of the hype and is getting a ton of the recognition and getting a ton of the anticipation. Not to say people aren't excited for the clean version, but I do believe that this one is getting overlooked a little bit just because of that battle damage version. I remember when those got announced, I just felt like the T800 battle damage version had a lot more hype behind it, which is rightfully so. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got a diorama base. You can kind of see it right here. It's got all this different stuff that comes with it, and it looks great. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. You get battle damage. Everybody loves battle damage, but for me, when I think about Terminator 2 and I think about some of the more iconic scenes, I think about him carrying around these flowers, man. I think about him looking like this, coming through the hallway, trying to protect John Connor from the T-1000. I just love that scene so much, and it's just a scene that just I keep replaying in my head all the time, and it's just one of my favorite scenes in the Terminator franchise, and here it is right here with the roses. So for me, man, I'm putting the T800 2.0 on this list because I just feel like with two options, I feel like if people had to choose, they would probably go the battle damage route. But for me, I think it's worth picking up both of them. And for me, if I had to pick one, I personally would pick this one just because I like the iconic look when we first see Arnold in that hallway, when at the time, if you didn't watch the trailer, man, you didn't know if he was a good guy, bad guy at the time. And it was just a really, really cool scene. And this whole figure just looks phenomenal. The head sculpt looks amazing. You get this right here. I mean, it just looks absolutely phenomenal. Real leather clothing. I'm just super hyped for this. Definitely going to be picking this one up. And I'll also be picking up the battle damage as well. But for me, I just wanted to talk about this T800 2.0 that I think is getting overlooked only because the battle damage version got so much hype. And we are going to kick it over to our next one, which is Han Solo. And again, I know what you're saying. Hey, I get it. You're saying, hey, it's Han Solo, man. It's Star Wars. No way a character like that gets overlooked. But I'm just telling you, with all the Star Wars announcements that we get, that all the Star Wars announcements that we are going to continue to get, I feel like this Han Solo from Return of the Jedi is getting a bit overlooked. Now, a lot of people had some complaints about the hair, maybe the hair being a little too crazy. I get all that stuff, man, but it's still Han Solo. It's still Star Wars. It's still original trilogy. And with a lot of the push being made for a lot of the prequel trilogy, a lot of the sequel, or not so much the sequel trilogy, but the Disney Plus stuff, when you're getting a lot of figures from Mandalorian, from Ahsoka, I just feel like anytime you can get an original trilogy figure, especially a character as iconic as Han Solo with this great Harrison Ford likeness, which again, I'm personally super hyped for this, man. I can't wait for this figure to be released. It'll be my first Han Solo in the collection. And again, you can have him looking like that. I mean, how can you not love this, man? But I do feel like for such an iconic character, for it to be the original trilogy, I really feel like now, man, in 2025, the original trilogy, at least with Hot Toys, gets overlooked a little bit just because we're so used to getting all of the newer stuff from the Disney Plus series. We're all getting this stuff from the prequel series, and that's where a lot of the focus is. So anytime we get some original trilogy figures that isn't Darth Vader, because we all know that Darth Vader is going to bring the absolute hype, I'm just super hyped for this Han Solo, man. And it isn't even on waitlist yet on Sideshow. So to me, that says that it's getting overlooked a little bit because it's still available. It's not on waitlist. And so I just think that this Han Solo is going to be a great figure, man. And if you don't have a Han Solo, like I don't, I'm definitely hyped to be picking this up. And who knows, man, maybe they fix the hair a little bit. We'll see. But that is why Han Solo is on my list. And the next one we're going to be looking at is Mr. Knight. They knocked it out of the park with this Oscar Isaac head sculpt. This looks phenomenal. And I know we're going to be getting that Poe Dameron. You already know we're going to be getting that Poe Dameron. It was teased at Star Wars Celebration, so I cannot wait for that. And we've already talked about the artisan version that's coming out on this channel. I'll link that in the description below. But what I really love about this Mr. Knight, and why I think this one's getting overlooked, is just because that artisan version is going to be looking so good. It's going to have the artisan hair. He's got the actual Moon Knight suit on. And plus, we already have a Moon Knight that's already available without the head sculpt that's really, really strong. So to get this Mr. Knight look with this new masked sculpt, with the new Oscar Isaac sculpt, the sculpted hair looks really, really good in my opinion. And plus, you get the suit with the gloves. I mean, everything about this figure looks great. Again, hopefully the white suit doesn't damage over time, like with the color changing on it and all this different stuff. So if that doesn't happen, man, this is going to be a great figure. And it's one that I just truly think is getting overlooked simply because it kind of got announced really, when it got announced, it was kind of in that weird time where it was like right after the holidays. And I just felt like it kind of got announced and nobody talked about it for a little bit. But to get this, man, especially when we're still waiting if we're going to get another Moon Knight season, which it doesn't look like we're getting, but it looks like we're going to see this character again. Getting this Mr. Knight, I just think is really cool. Newly tailored suit, separate rolling eyeballs. Again, man, just because that artisan came out and it had all the hype, I felt like this one got overlooked a little bit, and I definitely think you should have Mr. Knight on your pre-order radar. Still available on Sideshow, not waitlisted, so I definitely would be adding that to my pre-order list if you have room for it. And the next one we're going to talk about is one of my favorite announcements that has happened in Hot Toys in the last year or two, and honestly, one of my most anticipated figures whenever this does decide to come out. This is looking like a 2026 release, so this will be one of my most anticipated figures for 2026, and it is Rain Carradine from Alien Romulus. Again, I don't have the Scorched Xenomorph on here, because I don't think that's getting overlooked. I think a lot of people are really, really hyped for that. Rain Carradine, I'm very interested to see how well this sells. It's still widely available on Sideshow to pre-order, but I just think that this looks phenomenal, man. I think that this is like an early prototype look. I think it's going to look even better when this gets released. I actually think that they did an absolute, just amazing job on Kalen Spinney's head sculpt here. I just loved Alien Romulus. It was one of my favorite films from last year, and it's a movie that I just rewatch a ton. So I'm super hyped to be getting a Rain Carradine figure, man. Like, I'm really just like, I'm almost surprised that we're getting this. So to me, it's definitely being overlooked, because I definitely think it's one that everybody wanted the Xenomorph. Everybody was wanting Ripley, rightfully so. But I definitely think that if you've seen Romulus, man, having Rain in your collection, I just think is a must-have. I don't think, I'm not sure. We're probably going to get a direct sequel to Romulus, so we'll probably see Rain again. But you just never know if you're going to get a character like this again from Hot Toys, and I definitely think it is a must-have figure, man. And I'm just super hyped. Like, I cannot wait for this figure. Not only do I think it's overlooked, but I definitely think this is going to be a figure that, like, we look back on years from now and like, man, that is like, I can't believe I didn't pick up Rain when I had the chance. So for me, if you're a big Alien Romulus fan, this is a must-have. If you're not the biggest Alien Romulus fan, but you want some pieces in your collection that you might not see every day, I definitely think this Rain Carradine is one that you should consider picking up. I mean, it just looks great. I mean, look at this head sculpt, man. The separate rolling eyeballs. Head sculpt looks great. Articulated face hugger accessory, dude. Rifle with articulated gun stock. I mean, this figure looks absolutely phenomenal. You see everything comes with the base. I could talk about this forever. We got to get on to the next one. And the next one we're going to be talking about is part of the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace that they came out with. And this is the Droidica. And I am thinking the Droidica is definitely getting overlooked right now. And I understand why. You get a lot of different clone builds, army builds. You get a lot of stuff from Star Wars. I mean, we're about to get hit with even more Star Wars stuff. We just got done with Star Wars Celebration. We already know we're going to be getting a ton more of Star Wars as always, because that's what really Hot Toys hangs its hat on, is having that Star Wars IP, that Star Wars license. And this Droidica, to me, is just going to look phenomenal. I think this Droidica is really, really cool. It's going to be a centerpiece for your Phantom Menace prequel collection, just because if you're somebody who really collects the prequels, you're obviously already thinking about, like, Qui-Gon, you're thinking about, Obi-Wan, you're thinking of Queen Amidala, you're thinking of Anakin, you're thinking of all the different characters. But a Droidica, Jar Jar Binks, that's going to be coming out soon. To get the Droidica, I just think is like if you remember the hype and you remember the nostalgia from Phantom Menace, man, you just remember that battle. And I just loved the Droidica because I thought they were just a really cool droid that they had. And plus, you get 3 different ways that they can articulate and they can be in your display. So I can see people getting a few of these. And again, I just don't see a whole lot of people talking about the Droidica. I felt like when it got announced, even, it was kind of like, oh man, we're still waiting for like that Maul announcement. We're still waiting for that, Padawan Obi-Wan announcement, or that Queen Amidala announcement from Phantom Menace. And trust me, Hot Toys, you need to get us more Phantom Menace figures, man. You got to announce more. You just got to do it. But this Droidica looks absolutely phenomenal. 3 different transformable modes, and you can kind of see how it stacks up against the other droids here, even the Super Battle Droid. And again, I just think the Droidica is definitely one of those droids that's getting overlooked. I definitely think it isn't for every collector, but if you're somebody who really likes droids, or you're somebody who really wants to collect stuff from Phantom Menace and you want the anniversary box, Droidica is where it's at. So I definitely think this is getting overlooked, and it shouldn't be. And the next one we got here is this SpongeBob Cosbaby, and I think hold on. Yeah. Just Hot Toys. Just Hot Toys. Just 1/6 scale. No Cosbabies. No. I read you loud and clear. My mistake. I got you. All right. No problem. All right, so our next one here is Song Gayun here from Squid Game 2, and I think I pronounced the name right. If I didn't, I apologize, but I love Squid Game. I love Squid Game Season 2. I didn't think Squid Game 2 could possibly be better than Squid Game Season 1, but it managed to do so. I thought Squid Game 2 was even better than the first season. I loved it. I love everything that this comes with. You get this USB light up here and if you have seen the show, you know how iconic this is. To either pick the X or the O to see if you want to stay in the competition or if you want to take the money that's already available and leave. And you can kind of see this right here, the LED lighted voting machine powered by USB. That is such a nice touch. You see the accessories it comes with. And again, I just feel like this one's getting overlooked because if you remember when Squid Game Season 1 came out, it was a phenomenon, man. Like it just was all over the place. It got really hyped. I feel like even though Squid Game 2 was widely beloved, like everybody loved it, I felt like it didn't have near the same hype of Squid Game Season 1. And so, in essence, like I feel like this figure, if it would have came out when Season 1 was announced, this figure would be all over the place. It'd probably already be on wait list. But since it came out during Season 2, when the hype wasn't as high, even though the show, people really love it, to be able to get this character, I'm just really excited for. I think this looks great. I love the base that it comes with. I love some of the accessories that it comes with as well. I mean, you could just see it right here. It looks great, man. See all that it comes with. And I just think this is going to be an absolute fantastic figure to have in your collection, especially if you're a fan of Squid Game. Again, you don't know how many Squid Game figures you're actually going to get from Hot Toys. So to get the main character from the show is really exciting. And I'm just super hyped for this, man. Definitely think this is getting overlooked a bit, but I definitely don't think it should be. And last but not least, we have Dr. Doom from the Hot Toys comic line. Now, look, the reason I think this is getting overlooked, the special edition is on waitlist on Sideshow right now, but you can still get the regular version. The reason I believe this is getting overlooked is because I think a lot of people are waiting to see if we get a Dr. Doom, a Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom from Avengers Doomsday and what's coming. And I definitely think we're getting that. But the character is not going to look like this. The character is going to be in a different suit. It's going to have the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. It's going to look completely different than this. So for me, if you really are a fan of Dr. Doom and you love the comic inspired look, like you like that original comic look, I think you have to pick this up. I think this looks absolutely phenomenal. And I really think the only reason it's being overlooked is because people are waiting to see that Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom. I think they're people that are just saying, hey, I don't need 2 Dr. Dooms. I'm a bigger fan of the movies. I want to see what Robert Downey Jr. does with the character before I decide. But I really think it's going to be a mistake if you pass this one up, just because I think it looks great. You get this backdrop here. I really think that just the original look for the character looks so good. And you can just see right here, man, how good this character looks. Again, I could go on and on about it. And I just love the design for Dr. Doom. You see the lightning effects there. And I think we get a picture up here with like his mask, and you can kind of see the eyes behind the mask. And right here, you got armor with metallic silver application. You have 2 styles of face mask and separate rolling eyeballs. So again, man, if you love this style for Dr. Doom, I definitely think this is the way to go. Again, 2-way display diorama base. And as always, man, decide what you want to do with your pre-orders. I just think that this is a figure that's getting overlooked a little bit because of the imminent Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom portrayal. But this is the comic accurate version, man. This is the way we all see Doctor Doom, and I just think that this is a character and a figure that would look great in any Marvel display, and one that I definitely think is going under the radar a little bit that it shouldn't. So those are 7 Hot Toys figures I really believe are being overlooked right now. Again, you heard my reasoning with each of the announcements. A lot of this has to do with, like, there's another option out there. There's something that could be coming later. Some of them I just think they're being overlooked because of the character or because of different versions of the character. So again, even though I think there is a lot of hype for all these that we went over today, I definitely think some are being overlooked more than others simply because of what we talked about today. So let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments below. I definitely want to hear your opinions. Let me know which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with, which ones that I leave off that you think are being overlooked. Some Hot Toys that I should put on my radar that maybe we didn't go over on this list. I definitely want to hear from you. Check out some of my other content in the description below. I'll definitely link a few videos in there if you want to check them out. If you really like the content, definitely consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me if you subscribe. That way you don't miss another video and you can kind of get in on the conversation and we could talk about all things movie merchandise, man. I'm really hyped for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.